Southern 200 here tonight as we get ready to roll. 5 minutes, points, schedules, and all that sweet, sweet action in the high above in the MeetYourMom.com blimp cam. Giving you all the sights of Darlington Raceway and here's South Carolina. We got 25 drivers so far showing up here tonight, and we're about ready to get it on. 5 minutes, points, up next. All right, everyone, welcome to the program. I am Tom Torrey, a.k.a. The Horse Boat. calling all the action here tonight, and I have a special guest here tonight in race control, so he'll be in and out of the action, but he's going to be hanging out with me. Mike DeWalt. Mike, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Feeling fantastic, thanks to Old Smoky Moonshine. Oh, my God! Rogue Tech 1138 for a follow right now to bring us up to 623. So, hey, Mike, good luck right off the bat. Again, welcome to the Southern 200 right here at Darlington Raceway, only on twitch.tv/XHorseBoatX. Again, ready to bring you all the action. Let's take a sneak peek at the schedule and what we got coming up, and it's going to be hot here in the month of June. So tonight we have Darlington. Next week we have Pocono. The following week after that is at Atlanta. And to round out the month of June, Mike, this is probably one of the best months of June in Gears history, ending it out in Indianapolis. How do you feel about the month of June?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good month. Got some really fun tracks. Obviously, Darlington tonight, that's going to be a banger with this Gen 6 car. Pocono next week, that's always a good, that's going to be the Gen 7 car, but that's going to be a great show as well. Atlanta, always fun, obviously. And then Indianapolis, kind of similar to Pocono, but obviously unique in its own right. Everyone wants to win at Indianapolis to finish off the month of June.
Yeah, the month of June is looking hot again tonight, starting at Darlington. We were talking in the pre-show tonight. It's going to be a lot of people hitting that wall, earning their quote-unquote Darlington stripe, as we're probably going to say a lot here on this program. But again, if you're feeling bonita, I am also feeling bonita, and that's how we're going to go into it. Looking into the points here tonight, Colby Hogan, still your leader coming into tonight's action at 742 points. Aiden Donahue back about 98 points at 644. Again, 4 wins on the season to Colby's 3, but Colby's consistency in finishing has put him near the top. But again, breaking that lead under triple digits. Aiden Donahue cutting down the lead as we're getting closer and closer to, I don't know if the playoffs, what do you want to call it, Mike? I don't know. What do you want to call that? But we're going to move on. Gary Owen in 3rd, Mike DeWalt 4th. Again, race control tonight. Min Hang in 5th. Brad Gutierrez, Jesse Becker, Joseph Stafford, Connor Rowe, and Skylar Comstock rounding out your top 10. Again, if the playoffs began today, those would be the top 10 guaranteed at this point. Mike, again, I know you're 4th. You're going to be in race control tonight. But who do you think is your biggest threat within that top 10 right now? Putting you on the spot.
Well, first of all, I think you should call it the Tom 10 moving forward instead of the top 10. The Tom 10.
Sure.
But my biggest threat, my biggest threat is basically everybody around me in the standings there. I mean, Colby, Aiden have kind of been. Well, I mean, I'll be honest.
I get it. No, I get it.
I'm a consistent kind of Matt Kenseth 2003 kind of driver. I'm not winning races, but I'm finishing pretty well. I'm a top 10 driver. But I mean, the biggest threat. I mean, Colby Hogan's been lights out. Aiden Donahue's when he's not DNFing or finishing bad. I guess like he's always around.
He's always up near the front,
contending for the win. Oh yeah, especially with this Gen 6 car and keep an eye on him tonight. He's going to be really, really fast.
Yeah,
and then Gary Owen.
Night. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and then lastly, Gary Owen's doing a great job this year. He's been very consistent finishing. Similar to me, but a little bit better. Instead of top 10s, he's getting top 5s a lot. So those 3 drivers right there in the top of the list are doing really well and definitely the biggest competition, I think.
Again, Southern 200 action here coming up tonight. Mike, again, race control. But it looks like here, probably a good reason why you're here again tonight. You have the fuel mileage. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's about 45 laps on fuel tonight. We have, 145 laps. So we're going to have a few pit stops, 5 tire sets. Could be interesting. I don't know if tires are going to be an issue as far as having enough. It might be just enough. It just depends how many cautions there are because some people are going to want to take tires if there's an early enough caution, things like that, get off strategy. So we'll see how that works. I think altogether this race is going to be a race of attrition. There's going to be a lot of issues hitting the wall. Obviously, you mentioned the Darlington stripes. So we're going to see a lot of those tonight. Very difficult track with this car. It's going to be very loose. It's going to be really interesting to watch. Might be some people out early.
Yeah, I would imagine we might see some early cautions, but again, it'll really work its way out. But again, in the Southern 200, sponsored here tonight, I forgot to mention, and I'm so sorry, Storm Motorsports Again, race number 2 that they're sponsoring here tonight. We'll get them some Loose and Louds, get them some TV time. We'll look them up. Storm Motorsports, again, on Discord, I believe on YouTube, and across iRacing. So, again, give them a big shout-out. Give them some love as we are getting ready for qualifying. That Coming to Green song came up in my queue, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, is that a follower or is that somebody for, I don't know. But here we go. Qualifying Jack Stanley. Give him some love. I always like to be funny with my names, Michael. Oh, I called you Michael. Damn.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Gen 6 here tonight. We are on board with the 95 Ka-chow Jack Stanley. Trying to make the field here tonight. Should be a guarantee. I believe we're less than 40 people in this lobby, so we should be good. Jack Stanley's first qualifying time here at Darlington for the Southern 200 right now.
Might be his best starting position all year. Just the fact that we only have, X amount of drivers tonight. He's going to be starting pretty high in the field.
I mean, as long as the journal entry shows good in the general chat, I'm all for it. Coming into turns 3 and 4. Again, this is a tricky track if you've never raced Darlington before. Again, the feel, and Mike, please correct me if I'm wrong, but especially through turn 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, you almost think you're through that turn, but there's a little extra coming out of 2 and 4. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, turns 3 and 4. It's like a never-ending couple of turns there. Like you think you're going to be. It's kind of like New Hampshire where those turns just never end. Just a very long set of turns there. So that's a very tricky end of the racetrack. 1 and 2, a lot of fun. You can hang it out there. Not a whole lot of break. Kind of have to set the car to get off the corner. But the 3 and 4, it's like. It's kind of a question mark. A lot of people don't know how to run it. Do you want to run low? Do you run towards the wall? Very difficult.
Riding along now with the Moser Racing sponsor number 2 of Ryan Robertson. Again, Gen 6 night, as Mike alluded to before, earlier in the program. Ryan Robertson looking to make the show here tonight. The cars look great. We're going to have a vote here tonight in the chat as long as we got people here. What the hell is going on with my program? Looks like it's doing amazing per usual. Don't know why it's doing that, but we're gonna go with it.
Oh, you caught Ryan getting loose.
Yeah, I caught Ryan getting loose as I was trying to figure out all of a sudden my screen decided to go wonky on me. Looks like Ryan out of 3 and 4 onto the front stretch. Looks golden. 29.59, going to qualify 14th. Clicking Jack Stanley down to 15th amongst the qualifiers. Looks like we have about 25-30 in the house here tonight. So definitely not what we normally expect, a full field of 40, but Darlington is one of those tracks, kind of like broccoli. Specialty, if you're bad at it, you're really bad. And if you're good, you're really good. Ryan Robertson, lap 2, 29.06. A little better, but still good enough for 14th. Let's ride along now with Gary Owen. Right on that roll bar. Again, third in points right now, I believe. Yes, third in points. A guy who, I don't know if we expected, Mike, but a pleasant surprise in this league in his first year. Definitely a Rookie of the Year contender, I might say.
Yeah, I knew he was a solid driver, just all the content he does on YouTube and experience in leagues. But he's definitely been one of the top drivers that we have this year as far as performance. So really cool to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and I love that he chooses the Target 80, the Target almost Juan Pablo Montoya-esque type ride for his Gen 6 car design. So here he comes around lap 2, as you can see through the fence line. Gary Owen with a 28.53, good enough for 6th place in the big show here tonight. And it looks like anybody who's qualified will. And that is that for the moment. if it's getting hot in here, don't mind to take off all your clothes. Hayden Showtime Donahue on the pole here tonight with a 28.40. Min Hang with a 28.46. Joe Stafford with a 28.49. Christian Taylor, Gary Owen, Skylar Comstock, Kyle Munson, Blake Schneider, and Min Hang. Getting down to the warm-up now. We'll stay up high above in the meandyourmom.com blimp cam. Mike, well, I have you for the moment. Who would be your pick tonight to win the Southern 200?
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out we are now in cosmic bowling mode. The track is now in the dark. The lights are coming on. But here, my pick for this race is a pretty boring one, just because he's kind of the favorite. But I mean, that 82 of Aiden Donahue, I'll say it again. When we run Gen 6, he is the car to beat every time.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna dominate this race. I think he's gonna win from the pole.
And I'm gonna agree with the chat out there. Stale Pringle says 87. I say 87. Gary Owen in that Target Mobile, bringing home his first win ever here in the Gears Cup Series here tonight. Breakdown
definitely could happen.
It definitely could happen again. The breakdown for the folks at home tonight looks like we have 145 laps. Again, no stage breaks. We don't do that here. That's some bullshit. No fast repairs. 5 tire sets. Again, 1 on the car, 4 behind the wall. 70% fuel capacity. Auto cautions are on, and weather is randomly generated by iRacing. Again, 145 laps. If we go green flag to flag, that means 145 laps. No stage breaks. Hopefully we see some fuel strategy. Again, Mike, refresh us one more time on the fuel window here tonight.
Yep, it's going to be about 45, 46 laps if you just go straight through the fuel run. So it's going to be interesting how many stops people make. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of cautions for people to make extra stops, but we'll see what the strategy is, especially where the cautions fly will determine that.
Yeah, I mean, as I think we've spoken before, I think early on we might see a couple just because of the jitters with the Gen 6 car. So much horsepower here at Darlington. I'm excited to get underway. 145 laps, under 200 coming up next. Get a beverage, and we'll do the grid walk here in just a moment. Mike DeWalt stepping aside here just for a moment, getting ready to do race control duties. Again, he is going to be the eye in the sky, disciplinarian on the track, and helping me in the booth when he can. In just a moment here, we'll get ready for our grid walk for the Southern 200 here at Darlington Raceway on June 9th, 2025. Ready to hit the track. I hope you all are too. Let's get it on. If anybody's got an HB drink time, I'm ready to take it. Again, Southern 200 tonight, sponsored by Storm Motorsports, Jesse Becker and Christian Taylor. Hats off to you, gentlemen, for supporting the Gears Cup Series, the Gears Racing League in its entirety. Very much appreciated. Again, love you guys. Glad you came over. A great addition to Gears. And 2 guys I've really grown to love. Great people. Good people to know. Again, the wives are usually in here too. Again, Bugboo in that chat. What up, girl? Hopefully you're having a great night. And let's get it on for tonight's grid walk. Trying to get everybody. It looks like everybody's taking their sweet-ass time getting on board. And it looks like we've got it. So on row number 1, the 82 of Aiden Showtime Donahue, the outside last week's winner, the 11th of Min Hang. Joe Stafford is in the inside of row number 2, and outside of him starting 4th is going to be the 28 of Skylar Comstock. Row 3 is going to be the 98 of Jake Hall and the 87 of Gary Owen. In row 4, we have the 10 of Colby, hell yeah, brother Hogan, and Connor, where do I park my car, Rowe. In row 5, we have Jonathan Militia and the 14 of Travis Stroney. In row 6, we have the 6 of Blake Schneider and the 38 of Jeremy Eshelman. In row 7, we have the 96 of Christian Taylor and the 94 of Jay Cook. In row 8, we have the 2 of Ryan Robertson and the 8 of Keaton Salyers. In row 9, we have the 95 of Jack Stanley and the 97 of Jesse Becker. In row number 10, we have the 7 of Joseph Enright and the 18 of Kyle Munson. And rounding out last but not least, Stephen Jr. and the 19 of William Hitzman, who looks like is starting on pit road. Again, always excited to have these Gen 6 cars. I did not expect a full field tonight just because of the car, of the track. Some people are good at it, some people are not. Again, not for me to judge, but we got some hot looking cars here tonight for Gen 6. Looking for the best vote here tonight. Again, let me know your favorite car for the retro. And some guys did it, some drivers did not. But either way, it looks amazing. Donahue looks like in the 82. Gonna lead us down as we get ready in the TH Designs 82 Chevrolet Camaro. Pace car is off. And we are getting ready for green flag action. The flag man ready to go. Ready to wave the green flag for the Southern 200 right here at Darlington Raceway. Again, this track extra if you're prepared for the Piper. He's leading the way. Get the volume up here for lap 1. We are off and away, Mike, and it has been beautiful. Donahue off to an early start. Men hang all over that back bumper, and you're going to notice the inside line not as preferred here, Mike, as is the outside.
It's going to be interesting how the lanes work. Both ends of the track, completely different set of turns. A lot of give and take is going to be expected and recommended in the early laps.
Early favor for me for scheme of the night. Holy shit, looks like somebody in that Coors Light machine almost took a shit. Able to save it. Travis Stroney in that Valvoline 14. Very Mark Martin-esque. I love it. Oh, I was hoping it would say Ford Taurus on the back of that, or on the front of that, but, you know, I was wrong. And then let's take a look at the 5 car of Connor Rowe. Let's see this hot machine. What the hell is that? Looks like McDonald's throwback there. Again, to that Bill Elliott scheme Mike alluded to. Now, Mike, I don't know if you're going to disagree with me on that, but that 5 looks like a fucking S to me.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And I don't know.
He's super.
Definitely an interesting number font, but
we
got one in the wall.
About that later. Who do you got?
Speaking of Ryan, is that Christian Taylor? Looks like Christian Taylor back there hit the wall.
Christian Taylor, Ryan Robertson dueling it out, and then Jesse Becker as well. Again, Becker and Christian Taylor sponsors here tonight. Storm Motorsports showing up here tonight for the Gears Cup Series, and you know, I know you'll probably agree with this, but Storm Motorsports has been a great addition to the Gears Racing League this season.
Absolutely, we really appreciate the support Storm Motorsports has brought this season to Gears. Have really been lights out in the races and also off the track with their sponsorship, so we really appreciate that.
They do a good job on track and off the track, even better. Hopefully these guys will get their first wins in the series here soon. 94 Jay Cook. That McDonald's scheme, I think, is my early favorite. That is hot. The Batman, was that Batman Forever? That's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay Cook has had some really nice throwback schemes this year.
Jay Cook
bringing it this
cooked.
time as well.
He is cooked.
Yeah, there you go.
Last week's winner, Min Hang, and that MH design's not as cookable as the others. Jokingly, I'm just kidding. In second place, but, you know, he's had a good season so far considering the starts he's had.
Yeah, Min Hang always usually a front runner as far as qualifying. So not surprising to see him have track position here. Someone that was kind of top of practice or kind of up there that I didn't really expect. And he's up here now. Skylar Comstock. He's got some pace tonight. So we'll see if he can put together a full race.
He's always low-key, a guy that I always look at, like, that guy could probably get up there for a win, and then it just never really, you know, transpires for one reason or another. I think the guy has all the skill in the world to win a race here in the Heroes Racing League Heroes Cup Series. Just haven't seen him put it all together yet. Riding around currently in third in that Chevrolet Camaro Youngling Beverage 28. And let's give our sponsorship some love, some early. Storm Motorsports, first loose allowed of the night, coming at lap 10. Here you go. bring you back in now from the Loose and Loud. Me and Mike probably could have covered the commentary for the last 5 minutes or so, but we're having a good time. Against Keaton Salyers in the pits, as Mike exclaimed before we came back. Looks like
unscheduled pit stop.
Yeah, looks like Jack Stanley falling behind as well in 20th and 22nd. William Hitzman, which I don't even think is even on the track. No, he's not. Ryan Robertson in 15th right now, keeping it real in that Ford Mustang. Moza Racing number 2. Looks like the Wheaties knockoff. Love it. Jesse Becker not too far in front of him in the 97. You got that sweet-looking 94 of Jay Cook. Bugaboo, I know, said this about an hour ago. Tom, the broadcast looks great. Dalebringer says, I hear the voice overlay. Bro, that's probably you in the stream itself, or if you're in the game spectating, you can probably hear the drivers. I do not have that turned on. Fortson, put down the beer. I know you're not of age. No, there's no echoing. I can guarantee. Any chat person here in the chat right now, is there echoing? Fortson maybe has 2 tabs open with the same stream. I'm giving you a hard time, Fortson, because we love you. Again,
we got a battle. We got a battle from about 2nd through 6th.
Yeah, 2nd through 6th, pretty hot right now. Minhang leading the way. Skylar Comstock falling back after taking it as we went into the loose lap. But again, entire way, 24 laps, all green flag action. Hayden Donahue out in front. Minhang, Jake Hall, Skylar Comstock, Colby Hogan, your top 5. Joe Stafford, Connor Rowe, Blake Schneider, Gary Owen, and Travis Stroney. Rounding out your top 10. And Mike, pretty good racing here so far.
Yeah, everybody minding their own P's and Q's. It's a lot easier when there's only about half the field that we normally have out there on a track like this. So everyone's doing a good job, but definitely a lot of space between different packs.
Like you said before, it kind of reminds me of a sprocket race. A lot of those go green flag to green flag.
Here comes Jake Hall
to the inside.
See if he can make this pass. It's going to be a little difficult on the bottom. Minhang in the preferred line. Let's see if they have any run off the corner. He's going to clear him. 98 falls back.
Hold on. Is that a Chevrolet body or a Ford body? Because his car looks weird. No, it's a Ford body. Ford.
Yeah.
But his, scheme looks weird.
You know whose scheme doesn't? You know whose scheme doesn't look weird? That 10 car.
Yeah, that 10 car.
I have
Colby
a rule.
Hogan.
So my rule is, I don't care if anyone uses the DeWalt car as long as I'm not in the race. So if I'm not in the race, you can use that. So props to Colby for repping DeWalt.
DeWalt's on there anyway. DeWalt's on there somewhere on the track, whether it be Mike racing or not. DeWalt is represented.
Another one.
He should have just put Mike on the front hood.
That's what I'm saying. Like how Earnhardt had plus on the hood? It should have just been Mike on the
like they did in Dirty Daytona with Dale Jr. and Rusty Wallace, where instead of the actual beer, it just says Dale or Rusty.
Yeah. That sounds fine. I don't think anybody would bitch about it. Riding on board now with Gary Owen. In front of him, the S car of Connor Rowe. I don't know if I'll be able to look at that differently here, Mike. It looks like an S.
It is an S.
S stands for super or stupid. It depends on
Smile.
which situation Connor is in. Or smile.
S stands for smile because he's the hardest guy to pass. You gotta just laugh about it.
Or shark. Whatever.
Here comes Jake Hall with the run. Let's see if he takes it to the bottom on Minhang. He does. Here we go again.
Ooh, keeping it real. Is it going to go wrong? Ford on Ford action with a Toyota watching.
It's going to be difficult to stay there. He can't stay there. Here comes Colby Hogan trying to take advantage into turn 1. Does he have the balls?
Now, man,
plenty of room.
That inside line for Darlington doesn't work at like half the other tracks we race at. The inside line is not the advantage here. That outside run, that little extra through 2 and through 4, actually advantageous to go the outside. Am I right, Mike?
It is. It looked like Jake Hall had to lift on the outside there coming at 2. Gave Colby a little bit of a fender on him going into the 3. So now he's alongside him. He's going to have, if he can side draft enough, stay alongside him into turn 1. He should be able to try to clear him right here. No, Jake Hall hanging tough.
Wow, side by side, 98
he had to lift.
in the 10. 98
There
had
goes
to
the
lift
10.
just a tidbit. Joe Stafford giving him some room. And that's what I got to say about a lot of these drivers who run up near the front consistently week to week. A lot of respect is given. Got to give hats off to these guys. Looks like Jack Stanley, slow car there, the inside out of 4. And that Rusty's 95. Looking forward to that journal entry tonight. I will be having a glass of whiskey under candlelight.
Might be it might be the longest race recap he's had.
Oh!
If he finishes on the laps. Here comes mid-hang to pit road, lap 32.
Mid-hang again, last week's winner, finally getting a win here in 2025, hitting pit lane here for the first time tonight. Again, Aiden Donahue out in front like it ain't no thing. Again, 4 wins on the year, looking for win number 5. What is that, cinco in Spanish?
Yes.
I got to tell you a quick story. When I was young, I went to a basketball court, at a public park, Mike. I'm sure you've been there once or twice before in your local community. I had these group of guys who wanted to play 6-on-6. We ain't playing 6-on-6 basketball, bro. I tried to say cinco de cinco. They told me no. And then they pulled out a knife.
How do you even play 6-on-6? That's wild.
This ain't, I don't know, like, you're going to pull a knife on me for a basketball game? I'm 12. Yeah, 6-on-6. We're not doing that in basketball. Again, cinco on cinco or not at all. Pacers.
How much do tires matter? Sorry, Tom.
Oh,
Look at
matter
the
a
2
lot.
car passing 82, unlapping himself.
But to
That's
Aiden's
about
credit,
a
he's
second
taking
and a
really
half.
good care of his tires right now. I mean, he's not
Sure.
killing.
Ryan Robertson ran a 29.8 that lap, and Aiden Donahue ran about 2 seconds slower.
Yeah, what, a 31:11, I think was his last lap.
Oh, sorry, second and a half.
I wasn't trying to correct you. I was just trying to set the time. Still
I was
out
looking at the front.
Still out in front. Again, it looks like about 17th on back have pitted. Ooh, I love that 7 car. Joseph
Xerox.
Enright. Big ABBA fan if you know him. So much so he sponsored a race. He's sponsoring a race here, I think, at Watkins Glen. As I was looking at the schedule.
Yep.
Down the road. That should be fun.
Making copies.
Making copies. Mike, I don't know. You've seen that movie?
I was just gonna ask what movie that's from because I know that quote. Is it
I'm
what
gonna
I
let
think
you
it
figure
is?
that out. It's a 90s. It's a movie from the 90s. Again,
I'm not gonna be able to figure it out.
you'll
I was gonna say Office Space, but there's no way it is.
no, it is not Office Space. Have you seen that movie though?
Yeah.
You didn't sound confident in that. Yeah, were you like with
Well,
a girl when you watched that movie?
no,
or-
it just you like to
like
you
I mean, I've
Office Space a
seen
lot.
50 Shades of Grey. Doesn't mean I've actually seen it.
We got a lot of action going on here. Look at men hang through the field.
I'm watching it.
cutting.
I'm watching it. We're talking movies. No, I'm kidding.
I had to say something.
No, I get it. It was hot. Man, this caramel whiskey, I need to stop.
So Aiden's still out there on old tires. A lot of people are basically going to have an extra pit stop, wondering how far Donahue's going to. Like the strategy is, I guess, what, 3 or 4 stops? I don't know.
He's running her dry.
Right.
The Canada
But
dry.
those
ginger ale.
guys, that Min Hang pit on lap 32, so he's gonna, he's got some type of strategy. So that's an even. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you because I seem to be doing that this evening. The question I have for you at Darlington, like, how much is too long though before it inhibits your times? Like it, I know Min Hang, when Aiden goes to pit, Min's gonna have fresher tires per se, Aiden's gonna have fresher tires when he comes back out. But Min has already put in that time to catch him before he's gone in. How much would that hurt Aiden here in the long run?
Well, like you said, like he seems to be doing well on his old tires. So obviously he's still losing a lot of time right now to the guys that pitted. But if he was like super struggling, probably a better idea to come early. That's what she said. But like, it's
you can't do that.
He's in a good position where he's leading the race. He can afford to do this. He's going to lose the lead, obviously, but he's not going to lose that much time. He's going to have plenty of time to get it back if it stays green. And so, as he's staying out here, he also has the ability to potentially trap a lot of these guys a lap down or on, have to burn another set of tires to where he only has to use one set. So he's in a good spot being the leader. But like you said, like he's going to be real behind once he does pit.
I mean, I know you have your telemetry up, kind of watch this. A couple laps ago, he was in the 30s. Now he's just starting to get in the 31s. Everybody else looks like Gary Owen, who is about 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds back here from the leader, posting similar numbers, still has not pitted yet. Looks like first through 10th still have not pitted, with the exception of Jack Stanley in 14th, who has not pitted yet. It's pretty crazy right now, considering the back of the field starting to make that push, while the top half of the field have yet to pit.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies, a lot of different laps that people have pitted. And here comes Aiden Donahue coming this time, he said on the radio.
Nice. That's what she said. And I mean, I would imagine around this time he's trying to run it out, right? Like they're trying to run it out.
Well, he did. It's come to lap 45. He is out of fuel.
And it looks like
here he comes.
I would imagine these other guys would follow suit, question mark, from first on through 10th. But it looks like Gary Owen is going to go ahead and at least lead a lap here. He's getting some bonus points. And out in front for the first time at Darlington here tonight. Yeah, fuel saving aplenty here for Gary. You got to let me know when he goes in. Again, my pick here tonight.
Gary Owen on the radio, he said he's coming this time.
Son of a bitch.
And here comes the 69 as well. He stretched it.
I would imagine. Jonathan Militia, that 69 TH Designs machine. Coors Banquet beer is going to take the pit in that cream, red, white, and blue machine. That Toyota Camry representing for Road Soda.
He got all of it into pit road there.
No shit.
I think he's going to be okay, it looks like, but he got a lot of time back.
Hopefully he did not get caught for speeding.
I think he voted enough.
Thank God. Again, love Jonathan Militia, love his parents. They support the stream. Again, if you want commercial-free viewing, subscribe. That'll get you that. Always looking for a few more subs in the summertime. Again, with the dog days of summer upon us, everybody's doing things. My family's got the garden going, doing great. Oh, Chris Norris sending me a message. You weren't supposed to see that. Good thing it wasn't a booty pic.
There are cars out here that have stretched it to lap 47. They're coming now.
I see that.
94, the 97. So that's
Kyle
interesting.
Munson
Oh,
coming in
man.
as well.
Yeah, Kyle Munson. Some of those guys were screaming onto pit road, but did a really good job.
They are keeping it real. Can't get this goddamn cap on my beverage here. Drink some sparkling ice here tonight. Getting 3 months in, no Pepsi, man. I have not drank caffeine, like actual caffeine from like Pepsi and like the high fructose corn syrup shit in 3 months. It's so dope.
So I don't really understand going that long because you're still going to be about
Me
4
neither.
laps short if you're doing 47 laps each time.
I know.
But we'll see how it plays out.
And that's what I was asking before. Like, does it make sense to stay out that long? Run the tank dry when everybody else is pitted. Like, in my mind, I would try to go with a group. Maybe go with a group. Especially if I'm not sure, if I didn't do the math. You want to go with somebody, right? Like, you can't just run it dry, but it seems like that's what some of these guys did. Looks like Minhang, your leader currently right now, with Aiden Donahue about 5 seconds back, but closing. So maybe the strategy is the right play, Mike. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like I said, he was in a unique position where he had a pretty good lead. He could afford to stay out that long. He's gonna get back up there in no time because he's got a lot fresher tires.
That's wild. And while we're riding with Aiden, talk about next week's race at Pocono for the Shroot Farms. What, 250? Again, next week, right here on Casa de la Horse Boat. We're calling all the action here live. Again, unfortunately, Mike's going to be on the track. He won't be with me. But we'll be together in spirit as we go through that. Again, the Shroot Farms 250 at Pocono Raceway next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Looking forward to that one.
It should
Pocono's
be
a really fun track.
I love Pocono. I'm not great at Pocono, but I love. My favorite turn is turn 2 through that chute, man. If you hit it right, like you can get so much speed off that corner if you hit it just right.
You hit it just right, and if you hit it just wrong, you got some nasty ass wrecks coming.
Oh, dude, it's nasty.
That's what she said.
Again, Minhang still out in front, but like a little kid holding an ice cream in pursuit from a cheetah, as is Aiden Donahue, ready to tackle its prey. He's a coming. And Minhang,
Here you're only
Aiden
getting
Donahue,
around Connor
What do you
Rowe.
got?
Excuse me, Tom.
No, you're good. Connor Rose, Superman. I think he's a lap down. Lap down, Connor Rose, Superman. Looks like back in 17. But keeping the car
How do you get a
clean
lap
again.
down?
Probably pitch
What
cycles, strategy. I don't know, man.
I'm trying to
ChatGPT.
figure out what happened to him. I am.
Ask him right now.
Oh, okay. He pitted at lap 34. I'm still confused.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if he had a pit road speeding penalty.
That
Or he hit the wall.
yeah, I was going to say, either he just schmucked the wall. Can I say that? I don't know if that's going to piss people off. Schmuck? I don't know.
No, that's totally playable.
Family Guy can say it, so can I. Watching Colby Hogan right now in third in that Mike DeWalt number 10.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hogan.
Still, Pringles says, watching the 82 is like watching Bob Ross paint. It's just art. Shut the fuck up.
That was me.
I'm kidding. No, Aiden Donahue's great. He's a good driver. A guy that understands almost every track. Probably on a level Mike and I could not conceive. But he's out in front again, looking for win number 5 on the year, Mike. That's what.
Yeah, he's been lights out, and again in this Gen 6 car, he's been even more lights out.
Again, that red and white 82 off and running. Again, Minhang on older tires, going to give up that position now. But it looks like Colby Hogan's about 4.5 seconds back. Joe Stafford, low-key, has been up near the front the last couple of weeks, Mike. And I know you've probably got his eye on him since you've been on the track.
I was actually just about to bring him up. He's sitting there in P4, running some good lap times. He's got fresher tires than the guy in front of him. So we'll see if he can catch Colby on 3-lap fresher tires. But doing a really nice job. Him and Jake Hall are pretty much kind of running the same race here so far.
I mean, inside that top 5 right now has got to feel pretty good for Joe. Joe, again, a contender in 8th place right now as an independent driver. Again, not contributing to team points, but for himself, he's having a great season here in Gears in his first year. Another one of those Rookie of the Year contenders. And I guess you could say, Mike, flying under the radar.
Definitely someone that you look up and he's there in the top 5, and you're like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
Kind of like Comstock.
Yeah,
and
Skyler's the same type. I mean, he puts together decent races, right? He's not a bad driver, and he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't cause problems. Just sometimes he has either bad luck or he finishes really well. It's kind of the flip of the coin.
If you look at the 11 car, he's now really paying the price. He paid it at lap 32, so he's on some pretty old tires, 27-lap tires, while everyone else is, 15 laps or better, fresher tires than him. So he's going to be dropping back in a hurry.
And while we got you for green flag action tomorrow night, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/basepuppy. The Cougar in the car 200 at Talladega Speedway, 70 laps. Again at Talladega Super Speedway in the Xfinity car tomorrow night. Again, playoffs, we are race 3 of 5 into it. It is hot and heavy. Nate Williams on the call. Again, twitch.tv/basepuppy. Again, for tomorrow night's Cougar in the car 200.
Take it.
Always fun. Again, season 1 about ready to wrap up. Rumors of season 2 have been spreading amongst superiority, amongst leadership. Mike, I can guarantee you people are going to be surprised either way this works out.
Yeah, that will be coming soon, that announcement. But we're got a few more races left in season 1. We're going to enjoy that and see who comes out on top. It's a good mix of drivers at the top. Some you don't really see at the front in Cup, some that you do. So we'll see how that shakes out. It's really close points right now. So tune in tomorrow, Talladega playoff race.
Looks like Joe Stafford going down to the bottom in turn 1 and 2. Not sure why. Mid-hang in pursuit right now by Colby Hogan. All over that asset saying hello. Whereas Tyler Perry, one of his amazing series, goes hello. Making that pass, moving into second. 64 of 145 in the bank. We're going to give our series sponsor right now for this race, Storm Motorsports, another Loose and Loud. Again, thank you for supporting the Gears Cup Series, the Gears Racing League, and everyone who partakes. Again, Storm Motorsports, Loose and Loud, coming at you right now. Bringing you out of the loose and loud now here. Again, I'm Tom Toriaki, the horse boat. Alongside me here tonight, Mike DeWalt. Again, currently Gears Cup Series driver, current president of the Gears Racing League, doing race control tonight, hanging out with me. Mike, thank you so much for being in the booth tonight.
My pleasure.
In Showtime, Donahue out in front, Joe Stafford in second, Gary Owen third, Jake Hall fourth, Skylar Comstock in fifth. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Jonathan Militia, Jay Cook, Min Hang, Jesse Becker, and Jeremy Eshelman in that 38 Coors Light Silver Bullet machine. Again, 82 of 145 in the books. Green flag so far, 0 cautions to speak of, knock on wood. Mike DeWalt, 15 seconds left. Quick synopsis on your thoughts of how tonight is going so far.
82 cars fast.
Yeah.
He's doing this all under green, obviously, but he's got everyone a lap down except for the top 5. He's got like a 17-second lead, and now he hasn't pitted yet. But he's definitely got a huge lead. He's not going to obviously maintain the lead when he pits, but it's going to be tough to beat, especially if there's no caution.
Obviously, he seems like right now, to put into context, like a cat playing with a mouse. Like he could kill it, but he's like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out with it for a while, bat it around, maybe, maybe eat it. If it's fat, maybe it'll eat it. But
we got a lot of cars
now,
in turn 3 right now. This could be trouble.
It is a traffic jam of action here. 6 cars, 6 positions. Not missionary.
Colby Hogan, he gets loose underneath. Kristen Taylor coming off the corner. He's got it.
It got a little jiggly.
And that's all it takes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's Darlington. One little mistake, like we were talking in the pre-show, like one little lapse in judgment or a mental, like, I'm going to space out for a moment, could cost you your race here at Darlington. It really is that deep.
Yeah, even one caution. If we get one caution, that's going to breed a lot more cautions because these restarts can be crazy.
Oh, yeah. Especially
so right now, yeah, but here comes Gary Owen. He's going to peel off and come down pit road this lap.
Looks like Jake Hall is going to take that position as Gary Owen hits the proverbial showers for the moment. Donahue again out in front. Looks like he has a 20-second lead over Joe Stafford in that 57 machine. Riding on board with the 57 right now. Again, low key. Been up near inside the top 10 in points. A lock right now if the playoffs were to end, or if the season were to end today and go into the playoffs. He would be a lock, but Joe just having a really good night here at Darlington. Looks like in front of him, Kyle Munson in the 18. Looks like currently riding around in 10th. Man, all over that Ascend Road Soda Motorsports 18 car. But Kyle keeping him at bay for the moment, giving Skylar Comstock an opportunity. And those lines differentiate between those 3 cars, as you saw going into 3 and 4. Everybody takes their line a little bit differently, but again, depending on where they are in the fuel and tire run, that may affect how they approach that corner. Again, as a driver, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you always are thinking about that when you are in the middle of a run.
Yeah, the lines are going to change throughout the run. The save tire are going to be on the bottom, not turning the wheel too much. If you're trying to make up time, you're going to be doing all you can to run up top and really get a good run off the corner down the straightaway. Here comes the 82 into pit road. Make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Doesn't want to give this one away with a pit road speeding penalty. So looks like he got in there pretty good.
And I don't know, Mike, if you can tell me or not, is Victory Lane accessible here?
I'm not totally sure. I would guess that it's not one of those tracks that it is
I see it,
accessible
but
yet. But
yeah.
I could be wrong. We'll have to test it.
Now, another one of those things I wanted to mention here tonight. We are on the cusp, on the eve of the latest iRacing update for the Gen 4 car. How excited are you for that?
Let's just say the only reason, or the main reason I got iRacing a few years ago, I didn't know this at the time. There wasn't Gen 4 back then. But the whole reason why I wanted iRacing was to be able to race the Gen 4 cars. That was the main reason I wanted to. And obviously for the paint schemes, you can run whatever paint scheme you want with trading paints. But now that they're coming to the game in an actual legit fashion, where it's not just like a mistake or whatever they said it was last time.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. I can't wait to get on track, see what it's like. I assume it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Gen 4, again, if you are unfamiliar with iRacing, again, supposed to drop tomorrow. And I believe it's the Monte Carlo and the Ford Taurus supposed to drop first. Not sure about the Dodge or the Pontiac.
Yeah, they have not announced anything like that, so I think they're just keeping it simple at the moment. But they certainly haven't ruled it out for future.
Pontiac comes out, I'm there, man. I'm going to say Skylar Comstock pulling off after taking a couple laps to the lead. Min Hang going to inherit this. He has already been in again for his second stop. Skylar Comstock in. Again, after leading Min Hang, Colby Hogan, Aiden Donahue, Jesse Becker, Kyle Munson, your top 5 presumably. Travis Stroman, Gary Owen, Jake Hall, Ryan Robertson, Joe Stafford, your top 10.
Currently, after pitting, Donahue is back in the 4th position. But he's only about 2.5 seconds behind the leader. He's obviously a lot faster right now than new tires, so he'll easily get by all these guys. Colby just passed Min Hang.
Colby Hogan taking the lead. The 10 takes the 11 and the 82 in pursuit. Going to take it back real quick as he's like, excuse me, coming through.
In one corner, he's taking it.
Yeah, he's like, you know, like the old Wisconsin, let me just scooch right by you. That's what he does. And he has presumed the lead yet again. Wow. What a clinic tonight.
Oh, the caution's out.
Here tonight, Jeremy Ashelman, the recipient on this one. Let's back that ass up and see what we see on the Gears Cup Series instant replay.
That's going to be an interesting time for that to come out.
Don't give it up just yet, Mike. Here we go. 38, Coors Light, Chevrolet Camaro. Keep an eye on that, so we'll play at full speed, see what happens. Right meow. To the inside, Kyle Munson is in this picture. Let's see what happens. Looks like Eshelman loses it. Tries to cut back right, hits the inside of the backstretch. Single car caution. iRacing is going to call that every time. Again, we'll back that ass up one more time just so you can see it. But our first caution here tonight, over halfway through the race. A great race so far from these drivers, wouldn't you say, Mike? Oh, yeah, he's definite. That's right. He's race control. He's not only my color commentator for race control, but just a guy that got a little bit too low, lost control of his boat of a car, and hitting the inside wall on the backstretch to bring us on the caution again. Textbook iRacing is going to call that every time.
Yeah, just got loose there. Surprised this hasn't happened more tonight.
Back tires literally getting off the ground when he hits the inside wall on the backstretch. Hopefully he'll be okay. But again, first caution here tonight, and a good showing by our drivers here so far.
Yeah, that's a common incident too at Darlington. So, but that was a interesting time for that to come out, because if Aiden had not pitted a couple laps before, he would have trapped a lot of guys a lap down. So
a lot of guys.
We have 11 cars in the lead lap, maybe 12 now if there's a lucky dog. So everyone's back in the game, or at least half the field's back in the game. So this is going to be a crazy restart once we go back green.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not the 82, I'm pitting. If you're not the 82, I'm definitely going to pit to get another set of tires. to try to keep up at this point with the caution. But again, you might be running yourself short in the long game because this is kind of Aiden Donahue is right on schedule.
Right, and they did actually all make pit stops behind Aiden. Aiden did stay out, so nobody could take the wave around because he just pitted, so there's no point in him pitting. Right. And so no one could take a wave around, which is unfortunate for some of those guys. But yeah, it's we're right in the fuel window. Should be able to make it to the end. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close. I wasn't going to bring that up necessarily just yet. So I imagine we might get another caution here with them all bunched together. But for Aiden Donahue, this is probably not great for him. But for everybody else, it gives them kind of an opportunity to compete right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to give the EOL to the 38.
What is wrong with you? Again, Mike DeWalt in the booth here tonight, giving us a piece of his mind, a piece of his time. I do appreciate that. Giving us a little bit of insight on, especially, I'm not a great driver. Mike's got good insight, especially with his experience and his expertise. Always good to get some insights from somebody who actually does this seriously. So again, Mike, appreciate you having the program.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Pace car is off. Aiden Donahue, Jake Hall in front row. In the front row, row 2 is going to be Joe Stafford and Min Hang with Colby Hogan and Jesse Becker inside the meandyourmom.com restart zone, Southern 200. We are back at it right here, right now. The fence line.
It's gonna get nice here on
You love to see it. Again, Darlington usually more of a battle than what we've seen here so far here tonight. But again, a refreshing take on what Darlington could be with some great.
Oh, we got one
Jake
into the inside wall.
Eating the restart zone. Getting the shade of blue on his car. And moving on. We are under green. We're staying green. No yellow flag. Oh, Jesse
another
Becker.
One. He saved it.
Jesse Becker almost found out what that inside wall in the backstretch tastes like.
Jack is slow on the backstretch. Looks like he's going to get to pit road.
Now, I got to tell you, no matter what wall you hit, again, any experienced driver, it tastes like concrete. I don't know why you're trying to hit it. Min Hang getting loose into 1 and 2. Shredding the gnar. Jake Hall in his goofy-ass Clemson ride. Making it work here for now. Gotta give him a hard time. I haven't talked to Jake in a long time. Happy to see him on the track here for Darlington tonight. Again, I love Darlington just because of the shape of the track. It's so cool. It's unique.
Big block by Colby Hogan.
I saw that. Colby Hogan says, nah, brah. Now,
Travis
funny story
outside.
Between the 10 and the 14. Again, as holy sh...
Oh, he's not giving him a lot of room there.
Between the 10 and 14, I played the game Repo on Steam with these guys over the weekend. Between the 10 and the 14. 10 is a textbook saboteur, if you know what that is. Travis got so mad saying, you're fucking really difficult and frustrating to play Repo with. That gives you any context to how Colby plays Repo or Guilty as Sock. That is a hint. And Mike, I know you don't care about that at all, but it's hilarious. Colby is hilarious to play Repo with. I will play Repo with that dude every night. Oh, shit. Mike, we might have to get Storm Motorsports' wife. Looks like the wife of the driver, Christian Taylor, Bugaboo in here. We might get her in here for an interview tonight. We'll see.
Oh, let's do it.
Get her in the lead. Hold on. If I can do that. Get her as a freeloader. Got to send her an invite. Let's see if we can get her in here for a quick conversation. That would be awesome. Again, Bugaboo in the chat. Sounds like she's going to make it here tonight. That would be great. Get some insight on Christian's mind. I've hung out with Christian a couple times outside of racing, and Mike, he's hilarious. I'm not going to lie. He's hilarious.
Oh, Minhang almost.
Ooh, yeah.
Call.
Hopefully they have good spotters here tonight, man, because some of these guys, and I know you've seen it, clearing themselves when you're like, I don't know if that's clear or not. Especially when you got netcode, dude. That's always like the scariest thing for me when I'm racing against somebody else, especially with officials. It's like if netcode happens and you think you have maybe a half car link on him, you know, but again, you're looking at car, situational awareness, all that stuff, and you don't have it. That could really get awkward real fast. Stroney to the inside of Joe Stafford. Gonna make
Great
that pass. Textbook in that Valvoline.
He's been fast tonight.
Again, Aiden Donahue out in front, Minhang, Colby Hogan, Jay Call, Travis Stroney, your top five. What do you got, Mike?
It's going to be interesting, especially if they're, you know, not holding anything back here. I mean, we went green with something like 50 laps to go, maybe a little bit less than that, like maybe like 48 laps to go. That's right on the edge of the fuel window. So if they're going full out, I mean, I'd have to believe they're a lap short on fuel. At least.
I mean, but you've seen some of these guys be conservative in their approach. Do you think there's anybody, and I mean, take a look at your telemetry. Is there maybe one or two drivers you can pick out that possibly could make this?
Well, I think the veteran guys that know how to save fuel are going to be able to do that. I just don't see anybody, you know, laying back unless like you're Gary Owen back there. But I don't know what happened to him really. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say if some of these guys are just banking on a caution coming out. But why would you? I mean, there's hardly been any incidents, and all of a sudden, 82's lead is shrinking.
And that is amazing.
And it's not just Colby Hogan; it's the, you know, it's Minhang as well. They're both catching them. What is going on with Aiden Donahue? Is he saving fuel? Colby was about a half second faster that lap.
All right. Thank you for holding it down. And it looks like we have Danielle, who goes by the name of Bugaboo13. We're going to bring her in the chat here for right now. Again, Danielle, thank you for joining us again. Husband of Christian Taylor of Storm Motorsports. How are you feeling here tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Again, enjoying the action. Again, 112 of 145 of this race right now. Christian looks like he's back in 13th. Again, I don't know how close you are, if you're in separate rooms or what the deal is, but what is the vibe here in the Christian Taylor household here tonight?
I am actually in the exact same room as him.
Oh, nice.
So I hear all the background information whenever he's talking.
You're on the pit box then.
Oh, you're like in the back seat, proverbially.
Yeah, he calls me like the pit crew because I'm constantly getting him something to drink while he's racing.
Another one.
I love that. I love that. Colby Hogan taking the lead from the 82 right now, which I don't know if I expected. Again, here with Danielle here tonight. Again, you're the pit crew, getting him something to drink. What is his typical beverage of choice? What does he like?
He likes Dr. Pepper Zero.
Dr. Pepper Zero. I gotta like that. I gotta dig that choice. I don't know, Mike. How do you feel about that choice?
Definitely wouldn't be my first choice, but I can't knock it.
I mean, but sometimes he does have my sun drops.
Ooh, those are good on a hot summer day. I'm not gonna lie. I really dig those. Really dig those. And Colby Hogan here out in front. Aiden Donahue, Min-Hang, Travis Stroney, Skylar Comstock, your top 5 with Jake Hall, Joe Stafford, Gary Owen, Jesse Becker, and Ryan Robertson, your top 10. Let's ride on board with the Deuce Moser Racing Machine of Ryan Robertson. And it looks like, Mike, I don't know if you're paying attention to the Deuce, cutting out his engine just for a second going into 3 and 4.
Yep. He's obviously doing that intentionally. He's trying to save enough gas to make it to the end. I think a lot of guys are realizing they got to do that at some point in this run. I think you just saw that with Aiden Donahue. I think he gave up all that time in the lead just to save a lap or 2, and now I think he's probably okay to go on fuel now. So he's going to try to get Colby back, but eventually Colby's going to have to save some gas.
I mean, as we look out to the battle up front between the 82 and the 10, again, conservation. One of those things which some drivers really know how to do well, some drivers don't. Top 3 right now really know what they're doing with that. Danielle, longtime viewer, I met you guys back at Donut Box. You guys came over to Gears. How are you feeling about Gears? Christian like Gears? Christian hate Gears? What does he feel? Give me a third-party feeling how he feels. I want to know.
He likes it. He likes the racing part.
He likes the racing part.
What does he not like?
What does he not like, Danielle? Share it with us. This is like you're on Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams isn't crazy yet.
Oh, I don't know of anything. All I know is that he likes it.
That's amazing. I appreciate that.
And if you ask him about, he says he uses the reference from the movie Cars, the little red car in the stands, supporting Lightning McQueen. He says that's me.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Ka-chigga.
Look at this race for the lead we got here.
Danielle, I don't know. You've heard me talk call play-by-play. What do you think about this top 3 right now?
Let me see.
Or do you
I
need
have
to
it
get him a
on
Dr.
my
Pepper
phone.
Zero? I don't want to interrupt you. Donahue going to the inside of Colby Hogan. Danielle, I'm just giving you a hard time. I do apologize. Sounds like Christian needs an apnea mask.
Yes, you can hear him in the background.
I
because of me
can.
being in the same room.
He is hilarious. So I played Guilty as Sock with him the other night, and he is quite a comical dude. I love him. I hope we hang out with him more.
Yeah, he was telling me about that game and how much fun it was.
Yeah, I put up some really weird stuff. So again, if he doesn't know me very well, he will very soon playing that game. I have a sick sense of humor.
Colby.
Battle for the lead. Colby Hogan, Min-Hang, Aiden Donahue. Donahue gets the lead. But this is
It's not over. Oh, he gets loose.
Pain. This is brutal.
Here comes
right
Min-Hang.
now. Min-Hang to the inside.
That is a very close race up front.
Yeah.
It definitely is, Danielle. Definitely is.
Makes the
82,
pass.
11, and the 10. A tango of terror right now. If I was George W. Bush, it'd be terror.
Here comes Colby. He's going to try to make it
And
into
that
one.
Mike DeWalt
Oh, he
number
backed
10.
out of it.
He can't
Yeah.
do it right now. He's going to have to back out again. 24 laps to go. And again, they may have to pit one more time. Danielle, we'll
I think
keep
you
you in
got what
here
you
as
got.
long as you're comfortable with it. We'll keep you around. We don't have many female broadcasters. Looks like Colby's going to do it now. I
Oh,
don't know.
wow.
We'll see what happens here. If that's a smart play or a shitty play, we will find out in a moment. Travis Stroney, I'm not going to lie, it is a soft spot in my heart. I love the Mark number 6 Valvoline when it was that back in the day. That is my pick tonight for the scheme of the night. Again, in the chat, Danielle, please contribute as well into the chat. Your pick tonight for the best paint scheme of the night. I may have something special lined up for the driver here at the end of this program. 14 has my pick.
But you know me, I'm always going to support Christian in the 96.
Well, you're biased. You
But
don't
I'm
count.
always Team Storm.
He's supporting.
I'm kidding, obviously, but like, You know, Christian's got that sweet 96 machine, red. I love the numbers on the doors. That is probably my favorite piece about that scheme. I love the reflective numbers. I think that always, I don't know, brings me to attention when I see a car like that. It's a hot Toyota Camry right there, Daniel.
Jesse's 97 looks good as well.
That 5150 looks good too. I'm not gonna
Do you
lie.
like the Superman car?
Did you see that car? Let me show
Which
you the
one is
car.
that?
Hold on, dear. I got this one. Hold on. I got you. Where is Connor Road? There he is. You'll see it in a minute. It's a McDonald's, like an ode to the McDonald's scheme from Bill Elliott, 1994, I want to say, 95.
Oh, I've seen that car. I like that car.
It looks like an S.
But his number is an S.
But his
instead of a
number
5.
is an S.
I did notice that at the very beginning.
Now, does that look like an S2 or a 5? This will really help you.
It's kind of in the middle to me.
No. We got to have a decision. Give me something here. You got to give me something.
Okay. Well, I guess it looks like an F, but I can see where it can look
Yeah.
like a 5.
Oh,
We
you're
can ask
killing
the
me. You
drivers.
cannot drive. Oh, man. Sitting on a
I mean,
fence.
the drivers were up close and
Bugby, you're
personal,
killing me.
so they'll be able to tell us.
I'm going to give her a hard time because I can't. I haven't talked to her before. You're killing me right now.
But this is my first time in a broadcast booth.
I understand. That's all right. This is a really wild one for your first time. So Mike's here keeping it PG, but I appreciate that. Again, Aiden Donahue in first right now. Min Hang in second. Travis Stoney third. Skylar Comstock fourth. Gary Owen in fifth. Kidding aside, again, always a pleasure to have anybody in the booth, but thank you for joining us. I know that I asked you earlier in the year, and I know that was kind of a thing where like you weren't sure. But again, appreciate having you here again. Storms Motorsports sponsoring the event here for Darlington. A pleasure to have at least the wife of Christian Taylor in the booth here tonight, not the Christian Taylor. Definitely.
Of course, you're welcome. This is fun.
We'll keep you around here, especially since we're having a good time. Maybe we'll get you in an interview. So think of a question you can ask the race winner. I've got you enough time here, I think, before I put you on the spot with 17 laps to go. You can think of one that is good. We're going to put you on the spot for it. 82 out in front now. Has about a 2.5 second lead on the 11 of Min Hang. Travis Stroney, hats off to him tonight. One of the biggest movers, but the biggest mover of the night in sixth place is the 97 5150 machine of Jesse Becker. Let's ride on board with him just for a moment. Again, conserving that fuel, turning his engine off for about a half second to about a second. Again, I don't have a stopwatch. Don't clock me on this shit. But he's doing well trying to conserve that time. In the booth with me tonight, Mike DeWalt. Again, Danielle in white. Again, Danielle Taylor, if that's appropriate. Again, Tom Torrey, a.k.a. the horse boat on the call. But again, Jesse Becker trying to make his way into the top 5. Has about a 3-second disadvantage to Gary Owen, who is currently holding down the top 5 position in 5th. Danielle, outside of Storm Motorsports, I know you've watched probably most of the races of the year, if not over the shoulder of Christian, but maybe you've watched through my broadcast. Who are you most impressed by if it isn't your husband or a teammate or Storm?
That is a very good question.
I know maybe you haven't thought of this before, but who stands out to you as maybe a driver you're like, oh, wow, this guy's actually really good?
Actually, haven't thought about it, so
That's okay.
let me look through the names on here.
No, you're good. I mean, I know I put you on the spot, but let's ask Mike. Mike's been out there this season. Who has impressed you the most that maybe you wouldn't have thought of here as we go into 13 laps to go?
It's a tough question. I mean, I kind of knew most drivers that were going to be really good, and they're having good years. But I guess if you had to give somebody, as far as speed goes, like the most improved from last year, that was kind of surprising. I'd definitely say someone like Ryan Robertson. He's definitely maybe not getting the finishes he deserves, but he's gotten a lot faster from last year to this year. But overall, I guess something that was surprising was how fast Colby Hogan has been all year, having a pretty good points lead.
Me too.
All year. So
Yeah.
that's kind of been surprising.
Looks like Donahue's hitting pit road for the last time, knowing he's not going to make it. Going to get pit road, maybe gas. I don't know. Tires. Looks like right sides for sure. We're going to follow him just for a second. Min Hang still holding it down in the lead as Aiden. Looks like right sides only, and he's gone.
Interesting.
Min Hang putting him a lap down for the moment, but that may change as we head into 10 laps to go. Again, thank you for the inside mic. I mean, I know nobody asked me, but Ryan and Colby, I think, are two really good drivers to point out, Mike, especially as we go on. What is this, year 4, year 5? Again, some surprises here as we go into 2025. But I'm going to lean on Joe Stafford. Joe Stafford currently running in 8th right now. But again, inside that top 10, a guy that I think when he was brought into the league wasn't expected to finish as well. But he's inside the top 10 in points, and he's inside the top 10 in the standings right now as the race goes on. Joe, 57, hats off to you. You've had a great night going into 10 laps to go, no matter how this shapes out. A guy that I didn't think, a guy that kind of, I think, would you say overlooked as we entered the season, but has turned out to be a pretty damn good driver.
Speaking of good driver, Gary Owens coming for the lead here.
And can he hold it? That's the thing. Min Hang's got about a point, almost a half second on the 87 as we're watching right now. 9 laps to go. Again, Danielle, Mike, thank you for joining me tonight. Been awesome to have you again. I do it solo most of the time. Especially, I had Trenoir. Ladoon Awakening is out, and I don't think I'll hear from him again until Thanksgiving. J. Cole says Munson, most approved. Go ahead, Daniel. Yes.
You mentioned once before which name, like I remember seeing the most, and I do remember seeing Owen the most.
Look at Aiden Donahue, 3 wide. Unlap himself.
Gary Owen was one of my picks to win tonight's race. Gary Owen, I don't know if you've looked him up on YouTube. You'll see Gary Owen, the comedian, who's super popular. Then you'll see Gary Owen, the iRacing driver. Gary Owen is actually a really nice guy. A guy from Canada, puts out great content for NASCAR, for racing. Had an opportunity to work with Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs Racing, and a wonderful guy to know. So, I mean, if he finished here in the top 3 tonight, I would love to talk to him. Gary, a pleasant person to speak with, and a wonderful addition to the Gears Racing League. But Min Hang, winner of last week, out in front, 6 laps to go with Gary Owen in pursuit. This is hot, this is heavy, and we are here for the Gears Cup Series again next week at Pocono for the Schrute Farms 250. But before that, we have this. Gary Owen to the inside of the 11 of Min Hang.
If any of these guys can make it on fuel, Aiden Donahue is not going to win this race.
That is wild to hear. Pringles says, go 87, go. Wow, that was sexy. If it was for the lead, man. It definitely is. Skylar Comstock just in position as well. But you got to imagine, are these guys, do they have enough to make it? Are they going to go out of gas in the last lap? Anybody's guess here right now.
I think Aiden Donahue is coming to grips that he's not going to win this race. He's not very happy about it.
I can't hear that, but I know you can.
And Christian Taylor in the middle of this.
This is hot and heavy. Your husband's car, Danielle, right now is probably the best view.
He's got fresher tires. He's going to be making this a problem here.
He's right in the middle.
This is hot
and here
heavy.
Comes Gurley to the left rear of the 28.
What is going on? Three laps to go. Min Hang in second now. Gary Owen, your leader. My pick. Let's go, Target. Let's go.
Just a
I'm
few more
biased
laps.
as fuck right now. Let's go 87.
And that makes sense because he was saving a lot back there at the start of the run, if you remember. He was way off the pace.
This is purely amazing. Gary Owen, the 87, 2 laps to go. Has he figured it out for the Gears Racing League?
Just like Sunday's race in real life at Michigan, it's going to come down to fuel.
Gary, all season long, has been a contender. Has been a guy on the cusp of getting a win several times over this year. Bad luck has deferred him back from the win. Coming to the white flag, the 87, Gary Owen, taking it this time by.
Wow.
This has been a good race.
Yeah, next flag ends the race. Can he make it around?
And Darlington's a good track, too.
Darlington is wonderful, South Carolina. If I had a choice and my wife would let me, I would retire there. South Carolina, Darlington Raceway, going down the Boeing backstretch for the final time into 3 and 4. The 87 Target Chevrolet of Gary Owen taking it down. Looks like will be your winner of the Southern 200 for the first time this season. Gary Owen, your winner.
What a finish. That was exciting.
Gary Owen, a long time coming, all season long, was hungry for the win. Pulling it off here tonight. Again, Gen 6 edition of the Gears Cup Series. The Southern 200, again, my pick tonight. Taking it home, Gary Owen in the 87. You're going to watch him burn it down. We're going to get Gary Owen, Min Hang, Skylar Comstock in the booth for a post-race interview. Danielle, Mike DeWalt, please hang on as we get ready for the Gears Cup Series post-race show powered by Storm Motor Sports. What a race tonight. Again, hats off to Gary Owen for getting win number 1 on the year. Frankly, amazing work by Gary and his team. I was distracted for a second, trying to get these guys in the broadcast waiting room as soon as I can to start this show. Again, a wonderful race tonight. Only one caution to speak of. Everybody did their job. Again, Mike DeWalt, Danielle Taylor in the booth here tonight. Wife of Christian Taylor, sponsor of Storm Motorsports, representing here tonight. Waiting for Min Hang to get in the booth, and we'll start this show and get it on. Again, a beautiful race here tonight. Made my job and Mike's job hella easy. Again, we appreciate that. Give me 1 second. We'll get that in here tonight. Again, last week we shorted you guys. We shorted you on the post-race show. I had a pinched nerve in my back, and honestly, that whole race, it hurt like shit. It hurt like hell. Yeah, I know. Here we go. Skylar Comstock. Skylar Comstock finishing third here tonight. Again, proud to have you there. Skylar, again, low-key, one of those guys here every week, week in and week out. You seem to be contender for through one way or another. You either are there or you are not. Wonderful finish here tonight. I think you started, in fourth, finished third. Great evening finishing on the podium. How do you feel about your night tonight? Yeah, I mean, it looked good. Aiden Donahue really had it on lock most of the race. You guys were already busy trying to catch up with him, but it seems that strategy played out. One caution here the whole night played into your favor. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight? You know, you're not wrong about that when I play other games with him. So, again, congratulations on a third place finish. You kicked some ass tonight. Again, great finish for you in the Gears Cup Series. You're welcome. Again, Skyler, one of those guys that I like him a lot. I think he's got a good attitude, a good feeling for how this league is and how we do things. Again, very much appreciated. Bringing in the booth now, Min Hang, second place finish here tonight. Started second, finished second. Again, even par if we're talking golf. Min won last week, second place this week. How are you feeling, my bro?
Low key. So it was just a good battle overall. I mean, like, you know, Gary was catching me at the end. I was like, all right, we're just gonna have to, you know, race it out. And it was a really, really nice battle. It's nice to not have to worry about, like, you know, different nuances of like, oh, where do you run here? Are you gonna block all the way to the apron kind of thing? Like, no, it was just like, hey, if you gotta run, then just go the inside and we race it out. Like man, I don't know how else to say it. It was a very, very pleasant battle. And you know, even though I finished second, like, hey, I recovered something from after I thought I put myself back, and it was a lot of fun. So like, I didn't lose here. I think I feel pretty good.
You had a really good night. Again, last week you won. Again, I apologize that I shorted you on Monza. Again, pinched nerve in my back. I was very uncomfortable the whole time. Again, in that race, how were your feelings about that against a week removed?
I thought that, yeah, and in that thing, I felt like I had it in the bag. I think there was a strategy, and I'm just going to replay it a little bit, but, you know, we were behind Justin there for a little bit. I noticed he wasn't taking that all the way up to the top, and I knew that was the one move you can only make on this racetrack, and I was like, he's leaving
Absolutely.
it open. It's literally, I just have to play the time, and I waited till like 4 to go, then I did it. And me and Brad worked well too, so like I have to shout out Brad too, so he was a good help, but it was just one lane track. I mean, it's just, when you leave the door open, that's what happens. So it's very simple, that one.
Monza is fun. I raced alongside you guys last week. I thought that was a killer time until I got taken out last week, but it was fucking phenomenal. Again, Min Hang, congratulations on a win last week. I didn't get a chance to do that for you, but again, congratulations again. Top 3 last 2 weeks. Must feel pretty good going into the playoffs here, just a few short weeks away.
Yes, sir.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Did I give you that opportunity?
You know, shout out Travis. You know, we work together. You know, we try to stay out of each other's way if we are like lapping each other. Blah blah blah. Shout out Brad for last week. Shout out Gary for this race. Again, very clean finish. It was nice, clean battle. So shout out to him too. He's a good man.
I know I got
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate that, Min. Again, congratulations. You're a great driver, great artist, and a great addition to Gears. Congratulations. We'll see you here next week at Pocono.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Thank you. And I shortchanged Skyler, so I'm going to give him a chance to talk one more time. Apparently my mic was muted, and I'm feeling very, very generous here tonight.
Make sure you get the sponsors in there tonight.
Yeah, we got to get you in here. Skyler, again, 30 seconds left. How did your night go?
Went pretty well. It was a strategy race. I didn't have the speed to beat Aiden, but I knew I could use some strategy and get a good finish there. So shout out to my sponsor Yingling, drinking it every time I drive, and Team RGR.
In the sim.
Fantastic. Again, Skyler said before, and I quote, "I am always better when Brad is not in the voice chat." Maybe not exact quote, but I think close. Skyler, always a pleasure. I don't get to talk to you that much, so I'm happy to see that you're in here. Congratulations on a third place finish. And again, see you next week at Pocono.
Yep, thanks guys.
You are welcome. Again, wanted to give the man his due. Again, I like Skyler a lot. He's a great dude, a great addition to the league, and I'm sure everybody else here can agree with that assessment. Again, Southern 500 winner coming up here in just a second once I learn how to type. And we'll get him in here. Again, post-race show sponsored by Storm Motorsports. Always a pleasure to have Storm, and appreciate everything that they do for the sponsorship tonight. Gary Owen, my pick. I'm so excited. The 87 Target in victory lane for the first time this season. My pick to win it. Gary, how the hell are you feeling, my man?
Pretty good. I feel like I've been in position to win probably 2 or 3 times this season, and we haven't pulled it off. So as a rookie in this league, I really wanted to make sure I got at least one win. And I mean, what a way to pull it off too on fuel mileage. I felt great. Our long run pace was top 3 without an issue. But I knew Aiden was a little bit out of reach, so I knew when we went green on that final run on the caution lap before we took the green, I was like, oh, we could probably save like 3 laps of fuel here, and we're probably gonna make it. It just all went to plan. I mean, I ran out into turn 1 crossing the start finish line, so I mean, it could not have gone any more perfect there.
I was just gonna ask, like with fuel strategy being an issue there at the end, it almost seemed like the caution came out at the perfect time to kind of make people decide on what they're going to do towards the end of that run, because cautions were not aplenty here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we had, one caution all night long, which was, I thought it was going to be a little bit less of a wild night with just like a little bit lower of a field than usual. But yeah, I mean, I was racing for second, I felt like second or third, and then that one caution, all it took was that one yellow to kind of change, I mean, literally everything there. I was really surprised that we did not see Aiden try to, save fuel and back it down. And once I saw him come into the pit lane, like I kind of knew at that moment, I was like, this is probably my race to win, because I could just see what everyone else was doing out of my windshield. And I was like, I knew I was saving fuel better. I knew I was saving my tires better. And we worked our way forward there. And huge shout out as well to Min. Fantastic racing side by side with him. He made it hard, but he kept it clean. He kept it fair. That was good, hard racing there, getting into each other, leaning on each other. It was fantastic.
It was an amazing finish. Again, Darlington always prone for a great finish. Again, Gary, getting your first win of the year. Again, Rookie of the Year contender. I don't know if you know about that, but you're definitely in that mix. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to?
Oh, of course, shout out my parents again. They're watching the stream as usual. X Horseboat X on Twitch. Go check out the live broadcast.
Thank you, Gary.
My YouTube chat, of course, they're so supportive. They were going wild there when we won the race. And a shout out as well to my new sponsor as well on the channel with Next Level Racing. Yeah, big shout out to them.
You and I are going to have to sidebar one of these days, because I have a couple questions to ask you. But again, congratulations on the win. Danielle, Mike, any questions you want to ask him before we let him go?
Yeah, Gary, well, first, congrats. Long time coming. You've been up there in position, like you said, to get a win all year, and finally it's come to fruition. But was kind of wondering, as far as the car and the track combination, you don't have a whole lot of experience with Gen 6, I think you said before. How was the combination of the car and the track tonight?
I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, I came into iRacing right when we were transitioning into the next gen. So I had such limited time on this car, and I never bothered to come back and race it. But this season with this league has been my true introduction into driving this thing. And here today, it was fantastic. It's all about tire management and just keeping your car under control, and just, you really got to be more patient with this car. And I feel like you having to be patient with the Gen 6 really kind of plays into my strengths more so against the next gen, where it's a lot of the time you got to be up on the wheel and going after it. Yeah. So I love this car. I love the next gen, but I feel like this one really plays into my strengths of the patience, and just, you can really just let this car kind of come to you throughout a run, which is just it. It just works out for me.
Yeah.
Danielle, anything you want for Gary?
I wanted to say congrats on winning the race. And
Thank you.
Actually answered the question that I was going to ask you.
There you go.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Thank you. And also, Mike, your win is got to be coming this season. I mean, I know you didn't have the finish tonight you maybe wanted, but you're fast, and I was surprised you haven't won yet, but I would like to see you in victory lane soon as well.
I appreciate it. It's hard to win from race control. but you're
Were you
right.
not on the track?
I was not.
wasn't. No.
I know you
Was
don't
there,
usually see
was
me
there another
anyway.
DeWalt car on the track?
There was. That was Colby.
Oh
Hogan.
my God! I
So
thought that
don't-
was you the whole
Don't
time.
don't hold his racing against me because he's pretty aggressive out there.
He's an asshole.
Well, the opinion still stands. When I am racing with you, you got some good speed. So I still want to see you win.
We'll see who wins first, Sheldon Creed or Mike DeWalt.
Oh, that's a toss-up right there.
You
I think
can't
it's
do that
Mike.
to me, Mike. You can't do that.
We'll see. We'll see. We got some good tracks coming up.
There we
Danielle,
go.
Did you have a question?
No, sir. Yeah, he already answered my question about how the driving was for the car on the track.
Perfect. No, that's awesome. I thought I just wanted to give you your opportunity again tonight. Gary Owen, your winner here tonight. Again, thanking your parents. Anybody else? I'll give you 5 seconds to give a shout out.
Shout out to everybody. Appreciate you all. Thanks for watching the stream on my end and as well on X Horseboat X on Twitch. We're doing great things here together.
Yeah, my followers give them a follower and vice versa. Like, Gary Owen is the man. Again, Gary, we're going to have to talk sometime. Love your content. Love what you bring to the table. Appreciate it. Again, getting your first win. I picked you tonight. I was like, dude, this has got to be his
I
night.
heard.
87.
My dad
victory
texted
lane.
me.
Hell yeah.
He was like, yo, someone on the broadcast picked you. And I'm like, oh, boy, I don't know about that one. But, yeah, I mean, it worked out. So
I'll raise my hand. Again, I thought you had good lap times looking into tonight. The 87 target, it was due. So, again, congratulations. First win here in Gears. Hopefully the first of many more. Enjoy this evening, and we'll see you here back Monday night for the Schrute Farms 250.
thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
Thank
Congrats.
you for that. Again, as we enter here into the rest of the evening, want to give a big shout out to Danielle Taylor, Mike DeWalt for joining me here tonight on this program. Again, next week I'll give you a little bit of a taste on what we're looking at. Again, next week is going to be at Pocono for the Schrute Farms 250 as our ode to Dwight Schrute and The Office. Again, Mike and I, big fans of that program. Going to be putting it here, right here, front and center here next week. Again, for Mike DeWalt, Danielle Taylor, and for myself, Tom Torrey, a.k.a. The Horseboat, wishing you a wonderful work week and seeing you back here next week for the Schrute Farms 250 at Pocono. For Darlington and the Southern 200, have a wonderful evening. We'll see you here back next week.